My daughter said to me, as clear as a day, I'll never forget it. She said, "But mommy, don't people die from cancer?" And I knew at that moment, I didn't know how to explain to her what that meant, because at that time, I didn't know if I would die from cancer. I didn't know if I would be a survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in March of 2020. My husband and I had just gotten married, and he was leaving for deployment in the Middle East a month later. I was in the shower and had soap on me, and I just sort of brushed the soap off. And when I did, there was a little bit of pain. I didn't really feel a lump per se, but there was some pain. It was a little bit different. I had invasive lobular carcinoma, which meant that it was much more of a flat cancer. So that's why I didn't feel the lump that a lot of women feel. The first surgical oncologist said to me, "What size are you? What size do you want to be?" I told him, and he said, "You'll have to go much smaller than you were. Here's the pictures, and you're gonna look reconstructed. But you know what? You should be good because the cancer will be gone." And I sat there in that moment as a woman and thought, there has to be so much more than this. There has to be. And my husband was on the phone from the Middle East when he is not deployed. He works for Johnson & Johnson. He immediately called people that he knew and emailed with people he knew from Mentor, and they were wonderful. They immediately got back to him and gave him a list of people in the area. They said, "I would find the best plastic surgeon, and those plastic surgeons will work with the best surgical oncologist." And that's where my journey began with Dr. Harper and saying no to people that wouldn't listen to me as a patient and as a woman. I didn't want to look reconstructed. I wanted to have my life back, and I wanted to thrive. I think that that is where places like Mentor come into play. They really, really are able to give women back what they want, which is feeling beautiful again. I wanted to look my best. In my 40s, I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. And I came out absolutely looking incredible. Preparing for a double mastectomy is hard. I always say there's a pre-cancer me and a post-cancer me. I think mental health is extremely important in something like this, and a lot of people don't want to talk about that. It is truly debilitating. As I was going through breast cancer, I noticed that there was not a lot of information that was outside of what doctors told you. With 1 in 8 women dealing with breast cancer, what I didn't have were things that real women went through. So I started the Blonde Bombshell blog as a way for me to journal, but then it turned into more of a platform. The word platform came in a discussion that my husband and I had. And when I heard that, it resonated that platform and pageants go together. I had done a pageant when I was about 15. So that pageant, both when I was 15, helping my career as I went along in public speaking, just catapulted me to be able to share my story of thriving after breast cancer. And that's what happened. I did the Mrs. South Carolina pageant. I stood on stage and talked about thriving after breast cancer because it was near and dear to my heart. It was important to me that women knew that they could go further than breast cancer. As long as you have air in your lungs, you have to share your story, and you have to do this so that other women can know that they can share their story. It was extremely humbling to be able to be Mrs. American, but not just wear a crown and sash, but to be able to wear the survivorship crown. That was important to me and made the year extra special. My journey was one that I think was laid out for me beautifully. I would never have wanted breast cancer, certainly not. But if I was going to, I'm glad that I chose the path of grace, and I'm glad I chose the path of advocacy and not backing down. I needed to show women that you need to be an advocate for yourself from the beginning. I needed to show single women that you could absolutely do this alone. Even though I have a wonderful husband, he was gone at the time. I needed to show moms of young children that they could battle this disease and it not consume them. And so I have no regrets. You can absolutely thrive, look and feel beautiful after breast cancer.